I was a completely different person just a few years ago. I look at her and it's like I barely even recognize her. It's hard for me to believe that that was me. I looked different, I felt different, I acted different. Everything basically was different. I am thankful for her though. If I didn't go through that phase of my life, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't have done all the learning and growing to get me to where I am today. And I fully believe that you can change your life, your body, etc. if you want to, and if you put in the work. I'm not here to give you some magic shortcut, some quick fix, because generally the faster you get results, the less they're gonna stick. You gotta be in it for the long haul, and you gotta learn to love and enjoy the process. Hacks are not the answer. They will never be. And I say change my life and body because I truly believe as I changed my body and I learned about health and I completely changed my entire lifestyle, everything else in my life changed as well. My work ethic, my priorities, so much went along with it, but it took me to first just fix up my lifestyle and get healthy. And it just affected all other areas of my life in the best way. So here are the 5 main things I've been working on and focusing the past few years to go from this girl to this girl. And as always, I'm still a work in progress and only hope to grow from here. In no particular order, the first thing I want to talk about is focusing on sleep and recovery. I used to be someone who would have loads and loads of caffeine, stay up really late, then get up really early for work, not care about my sleep, be go, go, go all the time, never take a break, because I always thought, you know, like sleeping is for losers. You can sleep when you're dead. Like I gotta hustle. I gotta be on grind mode like 24/7. Sleeping is, you know, gonna slow me down and kind of waste my time, which is so incredibly not true. I gained a lot of weight in the past and really didn't care about myself. And to be honest, I really just didn't know. I didn't have the knowledge or the education on how important sleep really is for your life, not only just for how you look, but of course how you feel, your long-term health, your aging. Like there's so many benefits from good quality sleep. And I am very, very well aware not everyone can just get a full night's rest every night. You know, people have kids, people have difficult work hours. Maybe you're going to school and you're working. I fully understand. And I'm not saying this is easy at all, but trying to prioritize sleep and doing what you can to increase the duration of sleep, the quality of sleep, can make the world of a difference. For me, for example, I think this was a really crucial step in me starting to lose weight and get into shape. Getting good sleep actually regulates your hunger hormones. You have ghrelin and you have leptin. They both play a part in satiety and your hunger cues, and sleep helps balance them. Without it, you might be super hungry and not able to get full, even if you don't actually need the food. Your body just doesn't know what's going on because it's been deprived of sleep and it's thrown off and it's like, what is happening to me? You ever have a bad night of sleep and then you get up and you're like really hungry, or the next day you're really craving extra like junk food? There's a reason for that. It's because that's what happens when you don't sleep. I used to get like no sleep at night and then I would wake up in the morning and go for a walk because I thought, okay, this is like the first step into me getting in shape, getting in more steps, doing something. But honestly, if I were to stop depriving myself of sleep, take the extra hour, get in more sleep, and not even focus on getting in those extra steps, I think it would have taken me further faster, and I would have been happier doing it. Obviously, you feel much better after a good night's rest, right? Nobody wants to not sleep. Sleep is also so good for your mental cognition, and it's really good for aging. Lack of sleep for a long period of time can help you age faster and put you at a higher risk of certain diseases. Like, it's a serious thing, short-term and long-term. Short-term, of course, because you feel it if you don't sleep, but long-term because if you keep this up, it's not looking good. You could gain weight. It could prevent you from losing weight. I bring in weight because it was a big part of my journey, and if you clicked on this video, you probably relate to some of it. So I do want to keep mentioning about my weight loss because it tied into so much of the rest of my life and my fitness journey up until where I am today, right? A lot has changed. I've learned a lot in the past few years. Aside from simply being educated on the importance of sleep and starting to literally prioritize it, some things that actually help me get to bed, because it can be hard, right? Even if you don't have other responsibilities, you don't have a kid waking you up, you don't have something keeping you up at night, sometimes it can just be difficult. You want to scroll on your phone. You don't feel like going to bed. Like, it can just be hard for so many different reasons. Lately, I've been focusing on trying to actually have a nighttime routine. It's so often that people have a morning routine, but they don't really have a set routine at night. And why is that? Kids might have a bedtime routine. Why don't adults? I feel like routines can really help people out. But so I've not only been trying to actually follow a routine, but I've been trying to start it earlier than I think. Oftentimes I put it off and then I'll start it way too late. It takes me longer than I think, and then it doesn't even help me get to bed because it's already so late. So actually following a routine, even if it's a few steps long, it does not have to be super complicated. Just a simple routine to help you wind down for the night and starting it earlier than you think. If you have any sort of fitness tracker, for example, my Aura Ring gives me a notification. It's like, hey, bedtime's approaching, start winding down. I love that. If you don't, set an alarm on your phone. You have an alarm to wake up, put an alarm to be like, hey, start getting ready for bed, or a reminder, something like that. But taking some time to actually wind down should help you get to sleep faster and stay asleep longer. I really think sleep is one of the best things to start with if you are looking to kind of up your lifestyle and get healthy. Sleep really does a lot for you, and I think a perfect first step. It can literally like help you lose weight just by getting better sleep if that's your goal, or simply make day-to-day better and benefit your long-term health. I never used to be so crazy about sleep, but now I'm like, why isn't everyone sleeping more? I know it's hard. I truly feel like there is a lack of awareness and education in how important sleep is, and I'm trying to convince you, get working on your sleep. Jumping into the next category, we gotta talk about exercise. You know we do. My view, my routines, so much about me and my relationship with exercise have changed so much over the past few years. I used to be overweight, didn't exercise, didn't go to the gym, didn't do anything, tried to do a morning walk every day, but you know, the sleep wasn't there, like I kind of mentioned, wasn't really there. Started trying to like play around with at-home workouts, didn't really know what I was doing, discovered the 12-3-30. If you have never heard of it, the 12-3-30 is essentially a walking treadmill workout. You walk on the 12 incline at 3 miles per hour for 30 minutes. I started doing that every single day, and a lot of times I'd go for longer than 30 minutes because I would do the incline, then I would do like a long cool down, whatever. I just loved it, okay? I fell in love with it. I was like, this is so easy. It's not easy, but in the way that it's just walking, like the activity is easy. Of course, you make it really challenging by the incline, the duration, etc. But I was like, you know what? I can handle this. I don't really know how to work out. I can do this. It made me feel so good. And I really just treated it as like a little escape. I would work out in the afternoons because the morning walk with the no sleep, it was not working, okay? I started sleeping better, and then I would work out at night, which is totally fine. It's just what worked in my schedule and what I would do. Time of day doesn't really matter. What matters is that you do it and you're consistent. So I started working out later in the evenings. I got in such a good routine with this. I was so consistent with it. I'd watch a show or a YouTube video or whatever while I was walking, just kind of a little escape. It was like me time. I loved it. And that really opened the door to working out for me. It was so good for me. It kind of turned around my relationship with exercise. Like I started liking it. I was looking forward to it. I was very consistent with it. And I really did that for like a year or two, like a long time. I mainly just walked. I would do random other things here and there, but walking was like my main workout. It was hard, honestly. The incline is hard. You work up a sweat. It's challenging, I think. But it got to a point where like I, was kind of like manually burning calories for so long. And again, it did so much good for me. But I needed more, right? It was like if I had too long of a break, I kind of felt like skinny fat. And again, I love the 12-3-30. I will always stand by it. It is such a good exercise, and it did so much for my, mental health and my relationship with exercise, like mentally, not just physically. It did so much for me, but I really felt like only walking, only cardio, it just kind of kept me skinny fat. I felt skinny fat, and I started thinking, okay, these like girls and, other people that like look so fit online, what are they doing? I like this. I've come a long way with my relationship with exercise. I lost a lot of weight just through that walking. Like I got skinny, like I knew how to shed the pounds, but I was like, you know what? I need to change it up. Like I need something more and something a little more sustainable. I do think walking every day is a great habit, and it's not like a fad, and it's not like bad, but I don't know. I just needed something a little bit more sustainable than that was. And so I started noticing that these people that are so in shape, well, what is it that they do? They don't just walk every day. Of course they walk, they have specific diets, whatever, but they all lift weights. I just never thought of myself as someone who like could lift weights, but why not? Anyone can do it. I don't know why I was like anti, like I just thought that wasn't for me. I was like, no, I can't do that. Like, why would I was not interested. I simply was not interested. I started following Gains by Brains, which she looks insane, but also she's been doing this for years. She eats really awesome. And it is her full-time job to make videos and work on herself, right? Maybe her physique specifically isn't attainable for the everyday person or the newbie gym goer, but following her and watching her videos, I was like, oh my gosh, like weightlifting. Like what? That seems like something I should do. And so I started trying it. I had some at-home gym equipment, and I just kind of started playing around with different exercising, like learning about it a little bit here and there, and just doing stuff at home. I never followed a program. I was just trying to just figure it out a little bit. And I did that for honestly like 6 months. That brings us to this year. In January, I now go to my apartment gym, and it is pretty awesome. Like, it has a good amount of weights and stuff. It does allow you to weightlift. If not, I probably would end up getting a gym membership, but my apartment gym does have a lot of resources. It's really great. And so I started following my first weightlifting program. And let me tell you, the past 5 months, I have never felt better. The point of this is exercise is important, of course. Always do what works for you, but I want to speak specifically about weightlifting because it is one of the newest healthy habits I've been practicing, and I just cannot believe how amazing it is for you. There are so many benefits. You know, I wish I got into it sooner. Of course, everything happens for a reason. I'm proud of the journey and how far I've come, and I'm really happy that I have been really going hard with it this year. But oh boy, if I could recommend someone anything, any workout, any whatever, I would tell them immediately, start lifting weights. Start getting into weightlifting. I wanted to develop muscle, and how do you do that? While you lift weights, you get strong. You grow your muscles. You know, that's how you look toned. There's no like toning workouts. You know, the word toning is kind of stupid and kind of fake, to be honest. And if you want to look a little bit more muscular, a little bit more fit, well, what do? You have to grow your muscles. Maybe decrease some fat too. And how do you grow your muscles? How do you build muscle? You need to lift weights. That's literally just the science of it. It's called hypertrophy, growing your muscles. More muscle, less fat, you're gonna look more toned, you know? You're not gonna get bulky or whatever, unless you're doing this for years and years and years, and that's your goal. I was kind of getting sick of the whole walking every day, manually burning calories, whatever. And so I started listening to podcasts. I really like The Pursuit of Wellness. I really like Mind Pump. And Mari Llewellyn is another example of a girl that lifts weights, and she's like super in shape, but she's also someone who lost a lot of weight doing it. So she wasn't someone who was just like always fit, always genetically gifted, because there are some people that are blessed and that just naturally, you know, kind of look more fit. Totally okay. That just wasn't me. And so I did look up to her. I'm like, you know what? This is kind of crazy. I always thought you had to like, you know, manually burn the calories off, but she was someone who weightlifted through her entire like weight loss journey, and she looks great. She built muscle. I started really trying to learning about it, and I was like, you know what? We're really going to give this weightlifting thing a go. So this year at the end of January, because I had a big move 1,000 miles from home at the beginning of January, I gave myself a little bit of time to settle in. At the end of January, I started my first program. I've completed 2 weightlifting programs so far. They were each 6 weeks long. I'm currently on my 3rd right now, and I just love going to the gym so much. Not only has it been so good for my mental health, I feel like my relationship with exercise is just to the next level. You know, it really developed from the time of like losing weight, discovering the 12-3-30. It was good, but I feel like now it is just even better, and that has helped me be so consistent. I really like lifting weights because it doesn't feel like a drag to me. It's not like, oh, I have to go and like really just like do all this like work and sweat, which it is hard work, don't get me wrong, but it's hard work in a different way. I really like a like calmer environment. I don't take pre-workout and listen to this like hype music, which if you need to do that, that's totally fine. But the way that I treat weightlifting is I listen to a podcast during it. I go there, I try to be really focused. I do everything very like slow and controlled. I try to just make it a very calming and like anxiety reducing activity, and just focus on the movement and just try to get strong. And that's the thing, is lifting weights, you feel like you're getting stronger. Whereas doing a ton of cardio and walking, you feel like you're burning calories. And getting stronger versus burning calories, in my head, my personal opinion, like it was just such a better outlook and more sustainable and more empowering is the thing. It also honestly feels fun to me. Like doing so much walking, you're doing the same thing over and over. It can get kind of old, kind of boring, kind of quick. But weightlifting, well, I have a different set of exercises I do every day. I go there and I really focus on like doing an activity. I do it a little bit and then you like rest, you move on to the next activity. You know, you're learning technique, you're practicing a movement. It's like almost more entertaining, I feel like. And it was just cool to pick up something heavy. I don't know, especially as like a girl, like I'm 5'1". I never felt like someone who had a ton of muscle. I never felt that strong. Like even when I was in gymnastics and cheerleading, like I just never felt like I particularly was someone who was strong. And so this was a new feeling to me, and it's so cool. It's so cool to feel strong, and I even look back on how much I can lift with a certain exercise today versus, when I was trying to figure out weightlifting before I moved. The difference is insane, and it's just so cool. It's so cool to measure progress in a different way, lifting different amounts, like feeling stronger. Like, I can't explain it. It's something that you have to experience for yourself if you haven't. And it's just so cool. Like, it's just so cool. There's a reason people are obsessed with the gym, like it's cool. In this new experience, this new habit and routine for me, it has really changed the game. I leave my workouts feeling energized, whereas when I would spend too much time on the treadmill, I would leave and be like, I'm so tired, my legs hurt, like I wanna go to bed. I would drain my energy burning calories manually like that versus weightlifting, it's not like that. You don't go there to get a crazy calorie burn, but as you build muscle, you do end up burning more calories. When you have more muscle mass on your body, you burn more calories at rest. When you first start, and in the beginning, it doesn't feel like you're making much progress because you're not burning all these calories at every workout, but the more you do it and the stronger you get, well, you do notice your clothes start fitting differently. Your body feels like tighter almost. I feel like my legs like jiggle less. Of course I have fat on my legs are gonna jiggle, but I just feel like my thighs are tighter. You start looking like tighter, and you start looking stronger, and I didn't lose many pounds when I started weightlifting. It's not like I started doing that and the scale went down. Actually, the scale really didn't change a lot, but I look a lot different because I am gaining muscle, but I'm also losing fat. And so that's fine with me. To be honest, I literally don't care how much I weigh. I don't care what the number on the scale is. I rarely weigh myself. And that's something that you do need to learn. If you're so used to watching the scale, maybe try to cut that out. But it's like my clothes fit better. I feel so much more confident. I cannot even express to you the confidence it has given me in and outside of the gym. When I'm in the gym lifting weights, I feel cool. I feel empowered. I feel cool. I'm like, wow, I can do this. The more I do it, the more comfortable I get, the more confident I get, the more I want to try new exercises. I want to stick to this. The more I do it, it's just the better everything gets. But I also feel more confident in general. I feel stronger. And I feel more confident in my body, not only because it looks better, but the things that I'm doing to it, they just make me feel good. And then also taking a break from it, if you're on vacation for a week or, you take a rest week. I always take a full week off of the gym between workout programs. Taking a week off is great. You don't lose muscle when you're consistently weightlifting and then you take 1 week of rest. That's not how it works. It's much more sustainable. It takes more than that for your muscle to start breaking down. Also, more muscle mass on your body. It helps your bone density, right? As you age, you think of some older people as being frail and weak and, osteoporosis. Well, weightlifting now can kind of prevent that or at least slow that down. It improves your energy. There's just so many perks, both in how I feel, how I look, my long-term, aging. I just can't get over it. I felt like discovering this and learning about it and practicing it more and more every day, I just felt like it was magic and too good to be true, but it's not too good to be true. It's the truth. There's so many good things that come with weightlifting, and I'm so happy that I feel like more and more women, including myself, of course, are doing this now more than ever. I feel like we're really moving away from the cardio bunny into women actually in the gym lifting weights, trying to get strong, and I love it. I'm clearly so passionate about it. It sounds like I'm trying to sell you on it, even though I'm not making money off of telling you to go lift weights, but I just am so passionate about it, and I feel like it's this magic trick or magic hack, even though it's not a hack, right? But it's done so much for me, and if I could convince you to do anything, I'd tell you to go start weightlifting. It's hard. Going to the gym, especially if you have never really gone, gym anxiety is a real thing. It is hard, but it is so worth it. I feel so good. There's less pressure that I put on myself to get to the gym, yet it's less of a problem to get to the gym. I'm way more consistent. It's helped me with my mindset as well, which we will get into that, of course. My mental health, my physical health, how I look, my relationship with food. I just have so much to thank weightlifting for, and I want you to feel the same way. because it's been such a journey and so amazing, and I plan to do this like forever because I love how it makes me feel. The next habit, of course, we have to step into the kitchen, right? It involves actually taking my protein intake seriously. When I first was like losing weight, I was kind of working on my relationship with food in terms of not restricting and actually eating food, right? That was the first step, and I've come a long way, which is amazing. I used to restrict really bad, and that wrecks your metabolism. That does no good for you. You have no energy. It's terrible. But so many women specifically, I mean, people of course, but so many women specifically fall into that. And you know, it's easy to fall into. You think the less you eat, the less fat you'll have. You know, you start losing fat, big calorie deficit, whatever, which a calorie deficit is important if you're trying to lose weight. But a lot of times, well, me specifically, I took it way too far. You know, the deficit was huge. I was barely eating much, and one day I woke up and realized that it wasn't getting me anywhere. And you know, the less that your body thinks it needs, like you're never gonna be able to eat that much. Like your body gets used to eating so little, and it's stressed, it's in starvation mode. It's like, what's happening to me? And it gets used to that, and then you start only being able to eat a little every day, whatever. So in the beginning, it was really me figuring out the whole exercise thing and actually being open to eating real amounts of food. That was great. I ate normal meals. I wasn't afraid of carbs anymore. Like, I came a long way. And then this past year, I was really starting to prioritize protein. But then this year, after the move, you know, when I started really taking weightlifting seriously is when I also started really taking my protein intake seriously. Kind of the golden rule is to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. For example, if you weigh 100 pounds or, you know, you have 100 pounds of muscle mass, you eat 100 grams of protein, for example. Of course, I weigh more than that. I'm not saying I weigh 100 pounds. I weigh a lot more than that, which is totally fine. I don't care how much I weigh. But actually taking that seriously, I kind of track here and there. I use tracking as a tool, not a lifestyle, because it can drive you a little bit crazy. I used to be crazy with tracking in a restrictive way. Now I do it every now and then to make sure I'm actually hitting my protein goal. Why is this so important? Okay, protein helps build muscle. Protein is also very satiating. And coming from a restrictive background, it was very interesting to think like, I need to eat more. I need to eat. Like, I don't know, protein fuels your muscles, right? Like, your muscles aren't gonna get bigger if you're not fueling it, right? Like, you water plants so that they're able to grow. Like, you actually need fuel to grow your muscles, to get stronger, etc. And I started realizing this. I'm like, okay, I used to think protein, gym bro, whatever. No, protein's for the girls too, just like weightlifting, whatever. But protein is also satiating. So making it a goal to actually consume a certain amount of protein in a day and like adding more good foods helps you eat less of the bad foods. Being a restrictive person in the past, I don't want to think cut out foods. So changing around my way of eating in terms of like adding this, I have to eat this, you know, maybe eating protein first in your meal, you'll eat less of the extras. You need carbs, fats, proteins. You need all the macronutrients. I'm not saying to cut anything out, but if I have a protein-packed lunch, I'm less likely to snack before dinner, things like that. And protein, I think, really helps me feel, like I was saying, how like weightlifting helps me feel like tighter in myself. I feel like protein really helps that as well. It helps your nails, it helps your skin, it helps your hair. Like, it really benefits you a lot. It also can literally help you lose fat and boost your metabolism. It wasn't until I actually started really consuming a good amount of protein, but not like overeating. You know, it takes a lot of trial and error and learning about foods. And throughout this whole past few years, I have learned a lot about foods and stuff. I'm not credentialed in any way, but through trial and error and just like this whole journey the past few years, I've learned so much. I didn't even know what a macronutrient was a year ago, or maybe a little more. But it wasn't until I started being really consistent with my protein intake that I felt like I started reaping the benefits. And just protein and weightlifting together, it makes you feel superior. I don't even know how to put it. Like, I just feel like focusing on those two, I felt so secure in my body, and it helped me feel more confident. And it's fun, in my opinion, to have a goal with your eating. Making sure I have, you know, this amount for breakfast and trying to actually eat a real lunch, because a lot of times I neglect lunchtime. But if I'm like, wait, I need to hit a protein goal, it makes me eat protein at lunch, and it makes me actually have a full meal and a real meal. It would just really helps my mindset knowing I need to eat that stuff and it's gonna help me in the end, versus restrict, like not have enough, overtrain, burn these calories, whatever. It's just a different mindset, and until you're really consistent with it and start like feeling good and powerful, once you do it, you'll understand what I mean. Eating a good amount of protein helps you feel fuller for longer, so that can help you reduce craving and reduce the snacking. And whenever I snack too much and crave bad foods, you know, then I give into it and eat them, then I do feel bad. You know, it's like when I eat something good, I feel good after, and I notice it every time. It also helps regulate your hormones, which is such a cool thing. And by prioritizing protein, it can help you eat less calories at the end of the day too. And that then can help you with fat loss. Like, there's so many good things about it. It is best to get your protein in from whole foods best you can. I do use a protein powder though. It is hard to get so much protein in a day. You gotta plan for it, you gotta be smart, and it's okay to use a scoop of protein powder every day, but try not to rely on powders and shakes. And because you'll feel really awesome if you're having good quality sources, because a protein powder, it's just not as good of a quality as like a nice whole food source. You get more nutrients from that. It's just so good for your body composition, and it really continues to help my relationship with food. Eating protein alone, even without lifting weights every day, is so beneficial. And I'm really passionate about it, if you can't tell. The next healthy habit I want to talk about is your mindset. One of the best things I have heard that I think really explains a lot about my journey is the moment that you stop stressing about everything is typically the moment that the needle starts moving forward. This even stems way back to my original first kind of version of myself I'm talking about in the video. When I was her and started progressing and losing weight, and in my kind of 12-3-30 phase, I started just trying to trust the process and let go of everything. And I started allowing myself to eat. I started working out every day. I started just trying to stick to these few things and see what they could do for me, and they did a lot. And now in this new phase of myself where I'm lifting weights every day, I'm trying to stick to recovery, I'm hitting my protein, you know, you don't see results immediately. You don't like have 1 week of lifting weights and all of a sudden you're this jacked person and you know, your quads are barely fitting in your jeans. Like, that's not how it works. But if you think that and you stress that, you know, I'm not making this much progress in X amount of time and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere, that alone is gonna hold you back. I truly believe that mindset plays a huge, huge part. And especially right now, as weightlifting is really new to me and I've never really been through like body recomposition. I've never really tried this, so I don't know how it shows up in my body, in my lifestyle, but I believe in all the magic that it can do with the hard work. Although I started and didn't magically feel progress in the first week, I just started to like let go and trust the process. Exercise is a stress. It's a physical stress, right? It's not a mental stress, and it's not bad. The word stress isn't 100% bad. There are good stresses in the life, but I feel like you really, really have to enjoy the journey and the process. And if you only have an end goal in mind, it's gonna take you that much longer to reach it. And the journey's gonna be miserable. And say you reach this end goal, what are you gonna do now? Quit everything and revert back to some other version of yourself that's not where you wanna be? That's not how it works. That's not how you do it. That's not sustainable. Having this good mindset along with trying to build muscle and knowing that it's a very sustainable thing, those things really allow me to not freak out if I have to miss a day. I am very consistent and very disciplined, but I'm also very forgiving of myself if I need to. You know, if I get my period and I feel terrible, I'm not gonna make myself work out. In some cases, working out will make me feel better, but I feel like I'm much more gentle on myself knowing that I'm just doing these things every day. I'm showing up every day and I'm trying my best, and it really has taken me far, and it's only uphill from here. But it just allows me to be more kind to myself. And I don't think about, you know, going to work out to run my legs into the ground and murder my quads. You know, like some people like use that language, that vocabulary, and that's not how I look at working out. And I think that too is also just something that allows me to be kinder to myself and continue working on the recovery side of things, because just like I talked about sleep in the beginning, recovery is really important. Recovery helps your muscles grow. It helps your body develop. And if you're so good about working out every day, but you don't let yourself recover, you're gonna end up overtraining and you're not gonna reap the benefits of the things you're doing every day. So it really kind of all just plays together. It really does. And just having such a good routine routine and one that I enjoy, I don't know, I'm just so much kinder to myself, and it is fun to see progress, right? Like I feel progress and I see progress and it does happen, but it's not my only focus, and it's not like I'm watching the scale every day. You know, there's so many other ways to measure progress and to feel like you're getting somewhere. And of course, when you do feel progress, you want to keep going. Like it is something that helps remotivate you and continue going on. But loving the journey is gonna do you so good, and it's gonna take you so far. Like I can't stress that enough. Like having a healthy mindset, and that's something that each person has a really different journey with. You know, I can't just tell you like journal 5 positive things every day and you're gonna have a good mindset. No, like each person has a very different relationship with themselves and with food, with exercise, with sleep, etc., and different variables in their life that make their relationships so unique. So I can't just tell you how to fix it, but it is something you really gotta work on, and you gotta stop stressing and trust the process. Letting go and just showing up, I don't know, it's the best thing. When I think about when I was most stressed about how I felt, how I looked, and my lifestyle in general, it's when I looked at and felt my worst. So I just feel like that says a lot. And who wants to be stressed, right? And off of that, the last healthy habit I really want to talk about is consistency. You've heard it before. Consistency is key with almost every single thing you do in life. And with consistency comes balance, right? Like I am so good about working out every day, and I really think my eating habits, my sleep, whatever, like I am very consistent, and I'm very proud to say that because it is hard, and not everyone shows up every day. A lot of times you can do it for a week, you can do it for 2 weeks, and then you fall off. I've been doing this since the end of January, you know, kind of in this new chapter of myself, and I've been so consistent, and I'm very proud of myself. This is something new to me too. I've never done it before. I've never been this consistent with these activities. Like it's a very new thing, and it's challenging, but I love it. It's something to be proud of, I think. But with consistency comes balance. You know, I don't hit my protein goal every day. I don't eat well every single day. I have some drinks sometimes. You know, I'm going to New York next week, and I'm gonna be gone Thursday to Monday morning, and that whole time I'm not gonna touch a weight, right? Like I'm gonna have a lot of bad food. I'm gonna have a lot of drinks. It's fine. But that's the thing, is with consistency comes balance, and it comes forgiveness. I feel like mindset and consistency really feed off of each other a lot. And like I said, all 5 of these things work so much off of each other. It's good to start with one, but I do feel like all 5 of these things are important to have and important to practice. And of course, this is all about my personal experience. Hopefully you like these things too, and what I'm saying here can help you. I know everyone's journey is different, and maybe this won't work for you, right? But I do feel like these things can generally apply to most people. And I just think that with consistency, you'll learn so much. You learn so much by doing trial and error, and you'll figure out what works for you, and you will learn to figure out your balance in your daily routines and how to show up for yourself and how to be kind to yourself. And you're not gonna see progress if you're not consistent, is the other thing. But knowing that I show up every day, it does allow me to take a day off. It does allow me to be lax and have a fun night out and not feel bad about it. You know, it takes away the guiltiness. Of course, sometimes I overeat and I'll be like, oh, like I don't feel good, but it doesn't hurt me as much as it used to, because I know, what am I gonna do? Well, I'm just gonna do better tomorrow. You know, I'm gonna try again the next day. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna screw up, but you have to forgive yourself. And the more consistent you are, the more easy it is to show up, the more you trust yourself, and building such a good relationship with yourself and being able to rely on yourself and keep the promises to yourself, like, it's probably one of the best things you can do. You know, at the end of the day, who do you have? You have you. If you have such a good relationship with yourself and you know that you'll do what you're gonna say you can do and what you set your mind to, like, I don't know if I can think of a better thing. A lot of this was about health. A lot of it was about weight loss and my relationships with food and exercise and my mental health and things like that. And I do feel like my body has changed so much, but so has my entire life. And I very much stand behind the phrase that health is wealth. You know, if you don't have your health, what do you have? And I want to have a high quality life for as long as I'm on this earth. So that's why, you know, this video is about changing my body, but also changing my life, because both kind of happen together, both work together. And doing all of this stuff for myself, having these good healthy habits and routines and working on myself so much has shown in how I look, how I feel, my day-to-day and my health, but also my job has evolved. I've moved. Like, my relationship with friends and family have evolved. So much has changed. And I really think it all stems from taking my health seriously, getting into shape, and practicing healthy habits, and just changing my lifestyle. And I'm just so passionate about all of this. And I feel like this whole video I was preaching to you and trying to sell you something, even though if you start lifting weights, like I said, I'm not gonna make a profit off of it. I just am so passionate, and I know how good I feel from all these things that I want you to feel this too. So I have to share it. You know, this feels like magic, and it just boosts my quality of life. You have one life. Don't you want to feel great? And look great too, right? That's okay. I've learned so much over the past few years, and I'm gonna continue learning, and I love every now and then doing different types of videos like this, looking back and explaining all these changes and hopefully inspiring you, whether you want to lose weight or you don't. I'm sure any person can, you know, upgrade their health in any way, no matter what your starting point is or what point you're at in your health journey right now. You can always improve, and I hope that you were able to take something away from this video, and I'm always rooting for you. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. Please subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you in my next one.